Ian John, and I'm here today representing my colleague and soon-to-be my boss, Pam Kelly, who sends her apologies as she's caught in some of the bad weather organisation work up in Carmarthen today. Very pleased to be here representing Dyfed-Powys Police and to join in the debate today around the single plan for Pembrokeshire. My role within Dyfed-Powys is as Territorial Police Superintendent for Pembrokeshire and Ceredigion. And you may ask, what on earth is a Territorial Police Commander? And I quite often ask that myself. But primarily what we've done in the last 12 months is restructure. And part of that restructure has been forced upon us by the budgetary situation, which is affecting all public services throughout the country. And what that's meant is we've had to look at a different way of working. And a key part of that different way of working is how we liaise, collaborate and cooperate with partner agencies. And that's not only in the public sector but also in the third sector as well. And I think the formulation of single plans will help to build on the work that we are doing in our planning cycle. And it's very interesting for those of you who have seen our new Police and Crime Commissioner's draft policing plan proposals. What really struck me was the synergy between those and the single plan for not only here but in other parts of Dyfed-Powys. And I think that's really what events such as this can do, is to engage with people living and working within the community to make sure that we get as much input as we can into what those plans should be. But what then has to happen, that has to then be translated into actions, and I think that's the challenge for all of us moving forward. I just wanted to share with you some of the language and some of the dynamic that's happening within the police world. Look at this for a chart. This is what I live and breathe by, honestly. This is what we call our control strategy, and this really shapes our day-to-day and weekly and monthly activity. And these are the things that we've pulled out from our consultation over a period of time, and some of them you probably won't be surprised in. And these are the kind of things that we are focusing our resources on. Doesn't mean to say that we don't meet our statutory requirements and can do anything from pulling somebody out of a ditch who's skidded on some ice through to somebody who's having a traumatic breakdown. But a lot of the things that you will see there, antisocial behaviour, drug-related harm, safeguarding children, missing persons, they are all things that we do in partnership. They're not things that we can do ourselves. And at the top of that pyramid is our mission, vision and values. And that's really what drives our business. I'm not going to go into that, but I just wanted to share with you what's really driving our agenda at the moment. I'll just put a few of these points up here about the kind of issues that we're really dealing with. I've mentioned the reductions in budget, and I'm not going to go into that today because we're all in the same boat there. Our changing police structures. I mentioned territorial policing. That means I've got responsibility really for just about anybody that wears a uniform. But that's only very much a part, really, of what the police service will deliver. It's all about, my role is all about trying to increase visibility, trying to promote reassurance. You'll have seen an increase in the number of police and community support officers, and they form an integral part of our neighbourhood policing teams. Something we're really trying to develop, and I'm hoping that you will start to see and will continue to see some quite exciting developments within Pembrokeshire on that in the coming months. But on top of that is the work that they do with the voluntary sector and with their partners at a grassroots level. And that's the real heartbeat for me of where our partnership work starts. Because when we identify antisocial behaviour problems, when we identify some of those what may be seen as signal crime issues, criminal damage, the kind of things that make it very unpleasant for people where they are, by highlighting that and bringing that to the attention of a variety of partners, we can help to raise the bar on the quality of life of people living and working in our area. And that's really what a lot of my direct involvement is in driving those teams. But it's also about leading to the more hidden side of policing. Some of the safeguarding issues, some of the domestic abuse issues that we deal with. I've recently taken over as chair of the Pembrokeshire Domestic Abuse Forum, and this side of work is very often hidden from the public, but it's at that level where you really see partnership working at its best. And those are the kind of issues where I feel that there's a considerable pressure when we start talking about deciding upon priorities and what is important. And when we consult, I think it's very important that we consult with an informed base so that you understand what are the kind of pressures and issues that are out there, so that we can target our resources where they need to be and make the most of the partnership work that's out there. And as it says there, closer multi-agency working delivers better services, and quite simply it just makes sense. The integrated plan, it's very key for us around areas such as children and adults. And really what we're all about is making people feel safe. We are lucky, we do live in a part of the world which is a safe part of the world. And we shouldn't forget that. And I think we sometimes have a bit of an inferiority complex in this part of the world. I think there's an awful lot of really good stuff that goes on here that we need to be very, very proud of. And I don't think we should hide our light under a bushel. And that's not to become complacent, but we have work to do. We always move forward, and if you don't move forward, you start going into reverse. But I do think we do need to acknowledge that there is an awful lot of good that is happening out there. I've mentioned our Police and Crime Commissioner, and I really do feel that the priorities that are put forward, and they are draft at this moment in time, but for me, they're very much the fundamentals of what I would expect a police service to deliver. And I'm sure that part of the discussions that may come up today within the safety workshops, which I'll be taking part in later, we will probably have the opportunity to touch on those as well. But I've just highlighted a couple of things there really. Some key things: protecting the vulnerable and preventing and dealing with incidents of crime. Because when I joined the police 24 years ago, I signed an oath of office, and it told me what the role of a constable was, and the most important thing is the prevention and detection of crime. And I don't think it's an accident that prevention came first, because if we can prevent things from happening, it's an awful lot better for everybody, but it's also an awful lot cheaper. And in this economic, desperate times that we're in, I think we need to remember that, all of us. So the collective challenges for us then, moving forward around area planning boards, regional collaboration and tying money into what we put our resources into. I think we've all got to become smarter in demonstrating the value for what we do and what outcomes we have. I think a lot of the things that we get involved in feel right and they look right, and I think we do have to be smarter in making sure that we've got some empirical evidence to back that up, because I think that way we will be able to answer the challenges that are put upon us from outside governing agencies who are controlling very tight budgets. And I just want to really finish on this point really. We are as strong as our weakest link, and we must hold each other to account, but we must support each other and be unified in our approach. And I think that's the real benefit of partnership working. And the opportunity is here today for us all to debate that. And I just want to conclude really with saying, we are fully committed to this as W Powys Police. Yesterday we had a day looking at integrated offender management. The other areas along there are such as antisocial behaviour, protecting vulnerable people, children and adult protection, and remembering the fact that at the end of the day, from a police service, we are the police, and we are here to enforce the law and work with the criminal justice agencies, but there's an awful lot of partnership work, and there's an awful lot of preventative and rehabilitative work that can go, but ultimately, we are here to enforce the law. So thank you all very much, and enjoy the rest of the day. Thank you.